Hi everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and I am doing a video on using oracle decks without guidebooks and using preferably decks that do not even come with guidebooks as tools to deepening your intuition for both reading with oracle as well as tarot. And what led me to this video and what got me thinking was there was a turning point in my tarot and oracle journey where I moved away from like the mass marketed oracles to independent decks that did not come with guidebooks. And I was drawn to those decks because I liked how my imagination, or at least what I thought was my imagination, which it probably is, but it's primarily my intuition, got to really play without the confines of what's in a guidebook. And I got this particular deck. This is the Dear Heart Oracle. And you guys know I talk so heavily about this particular deck. I love this deck. This is the conflict card. And so with this particular deck, I didn't have a guidebook and I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, considering up until that point I was getting oracles with guidebooks. And I thought I was going to use this deck primarily as an affirmations kind of deck. And it wasn't that at all for me. It was something entirely different. It was predictive. It was not something where I'm using it for just affirmations. No, it was kind of confrontational. And I decided to start incorporating this particular deck into readings for others as well as readings for myself. Although I primarily now use it for readings for others because it really can scratch on and tap into what the forecast of the energies are surrounding a situation. And I appreciate that about this deck. And I can look at the images and I can gain so much by just diving into it, diving into the keyword that's listed, darkness. And we have secrets. So much is coming from this card. It's so evocative, right? I mean, you've got the ashy throat chakra here, the lips pursed. Will a secret come from this person, or are they going to keep it as a secret? I don't know. I'm going to keep that. And you got protection, where the heart is crystallizing at the bottom here. This could be a card that's calling for protection, right? You need to protect. Or it could be a card that's saying maybe you're tending to be a little too protective. You're overprotective. And so it just depends on what the querent's question is, you know. So, and then you've got a card like growth. And it's not like this super, involved photo or keyword. But depending on whatever the question is, you could be able to really work with that. Here's healing. Oh, this one comes up a lot in readings. Wounded. And then this is where I really allow my intuition to go wild. Where I really have to. Because what's wounding this person? Well, what are the other cards saying? I can probably, this will just, you just will not believe how when I throw a couple of these cards down for the reading, like what the theme of it is, this is what I use this deck for, all the cards thereafter, the tarot cards, the oracle cards that I do a reading in conjunction with that deck, all fall in line. It's like magic. I don't know. Let's see if there's any others. Transformation. Balance. Letting go. And then love this one, Seek. So this was my first deck that I got that did not have a guidebook. And I was like, wow, this is a different experience for me. Normally, I get a deck from Hay House or wherever. I get this little guidebook, right? And I go through it for a little bit. I read it. I throw some cards down. I read it some more. I keep playing with it. I keep playing with it. And so that was what I was doing. But I was constantly relying on this because it was there. Fair enough, right? So then I got a taste of the Dear Heart Oracle. I was like, wow, I am really digging this particular little deck. What else is out there? And so then I found the White Rabbit Oracle deck. Now with this particular deck, this is also, I got this one, this is out of print, but I got this on Etsy from Pan Art, is the creator. Pan, Pan Art, A-R-T, one word. I think she still has an Etsy store. And I got her deck from there, and I just was floored. Like, I was like, wow, this is amazing. The White Rabbit Oracle came into my life. Here's Strength. And I love its collage-y feel, you know, like the collage deal where you can like kind of look at this image and look at that image, and really your intuition and your visual prompts can really take you to different places. Now, with this particular deck, this deck came with a PDF printout that I have with some keywords here. So for Strength, this one says powerful, high self-esteem, fearlessly taking action, or this is probably like your shadow side, or need for balance and grounding. And so what I started doing after practicing and playing with the Dear Heart Oracle is I started just doing the readings with my intuition and what I'm getting here with the keywords. Here's desire. I put the PDF aside for a while. Every now and then I would look at it just to kind of see what the cards are saying, but not necessarily during a reading, just perusing what the meanings were. And then I would do readings without the keywords. If I did happen to need to look at the keyword because I just wanted some inspiration, I was stuck, I still would try to work through what am I feeling? What am I feeling from this particular card? Here's nostalgia. What's going on with this particular card and me and the querent and their question? What am I feeling? What's in my gut right now? What sensations? Are there even smells? Some of us are able to access smells in our intuitive abilities. We're able to access textures, feels, what all of that, what conjures up in our experience. And so I loved that about this deck, that it had the option that, yes, it had some guide words, but again, I really tried to use this particular deck too without always looking at the guide, the little guide. So what I would suggest with that as well is that when you are using the guidebook, allow your intuition to come first. Your intuition reigns supreme over the guidebook's meanings, always. There are times when it's okay, of course, to consult the guidebook to see what it's saying and to see if it coincides with what your intuition is saying. But your intuition is what reigns first, because you're the one hearing the question, right? You're the one getting that information from the querent. You're the one with the intuitive faculties. So it's important for you to know that your intuition needs to be felt and read first. Then you consult the book, and you let your querent know, if you are one who consults the book, that your intuition reigns supreme always. You let them know that before the reading. So that's just a tip from me if you're going to use a guidebook. And there's nothing wrong with using a guidebook. That is your business. That is your prerogative. I still use guidebooks for when I'm doing readings for myself because I like to read, A, and B, I like to get all the information I can as objectively as I possibly can when you're reading for yourself, right? So then I said, okay, well, I still have these decks with all of these guidebooks. Can I use these now that I've got a taste of decks without, or Oracle decks without guidebooks? Well, yeah, I was able to start using like Doreen Virtue's, the Romance Oracle cards without the guidebook, because what's good about her decks and what annoys people as well is that her decks have, you know, the keyword here, new love, a little message here, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. And she has a picture that, I'll be honest with you, for this oracle, for me, is all in the words in that guidebook. The guidebook for the Romance Angels is pretty good. For Doreen, it's pretty good. So I don't mind reading her guidebook. And I don't mind this or this. The pictures I could do with or without. I'll be honest with you. Some people could probably get all lost in this and be like, oh yeah, new love. I'm not getting that. I get the intuitive hits from the words in this case. So I still don't always consult the guidebook when it comes to my mass marketed decks, because I don't always need to. A lot of the times I can get all that information from what my intuition is saying, the keywords and the images on the cards. But yeah, so with my this is Stephen D. Farmer's Earth Magic Oracle cards. You guys are probably very familiar with this deck. And so I will also use this one intuitively. This is volcano. Is it volatile? Eruption, explosion. You have lake, stillness. I mean, you see what this is evoking here, right? You would be able to get a sense of that and be able to articulate that if you just allow your being to just relax and be still and just, look at the images, take it in. Don't feel rushed. Give yourself and your querent time, lightning, power. And I tell people, if you feel like called to use the guidebook, because that means that there is some information that needs to be shared. And you should look at the guidebook. There's some additional information that can be added, but added, not the premier meaning, right? Added to your intuition. That's going to help deepen your connection to, your deck, to your client, to you, if you're just doing the reading. It's just building that intuition, building that trust of your intuition. Super powerful, super duper powerful. It changed my reading game for sure. Reading with oracles without the guidebooks changed the game for me for my reading of tarot, as well as my readings for others, hands down. I think that's the best teaching tool. And now I'm totally understanding why when, our tarot teachers of the universe tell us, listen to your intuition first. That is number one first. Then the guidebook. Now I get it. Because a lot of times you don't have a lot of time to be going through looking at the guidebook and trying to answer questions. You just don't. So what do? You rely on your intuition. So I got that. And then I also purchased the, from Ariana Siegel, the creator of the White Rabbit Oracle. She also created the Oracle of Nightmares. Here's the card backs, a skeleton. And she creates these decks, and this particular deck does not have any guide, no little PDF, anything. Here's secret. Look at this secrets. Let's take a little gander at this. Okay, here's this secrets, right? See what mood that's conjuring up for you, right? And then we have this secrets card in this oracle. It's quite different, yet of course it's still the same theme, but it's like we have a secret up in here in this the house, and then this person has a secret I'm dealing with. So you could see how looking at these two different cards, same keyword, can evoke so many different moods and feelings and stirrings inside of you. And it's up to you to tap into that and to trust your intuition, trust it. Because 9 out of 10 times when you say those things to your client or to whomever you're doing a reading for, then they'll be like, oh my gosh, how did you know that? Well, it's just your intuition guided you there. And it's really kind of cool, right? I mean, it's super cool. And then also, again, just like with the White Rabbit Oracle, I have the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle that has like this particular, like a little guide with a few keywords as well. But again, I do the reading and I take it in. I try to, there are times when your brain is like, you're tired, like it's late tonight that I'm doing this video. I'm super tired. I may just look at a couple of keywords if I am reading for myself, or, I just want to quickly get to it and I don't know what it means, because like with the Mildred Payne, there's some things you're like, I don't get. Pitchfork. You can kind of treat it like a Lenormand deck. 18 water. So depending on the question, you'll be able to answer it. Fish, but like fish, I don't know if I'm going to get that without my little guide. So I'm not saying it's bad. And then, I'm not saying a guidebook is bad, by the way. I love guidebooks. I will continue to use them. I'm just thinking of different ways of how we can enhance our intuition and our trust in ourselves to deliver great intuitive readings. So then I got the Earthbound Oracle. Here's the back. And I adore this deck. This deck does not come with a guide, and it does not need one. It is also highly predictive, just like the Dear Heart Oracle. And it's not as in your, it's a little gentler. It's a little gentler energy. It's so funny because this one looked like it might like be a little for me, but it's really this one that's a little more round. I just don't understand it. This one, the artwork looks so innocent like, right? But no. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Here's Labor. Oh, I love that card. I get so much. And I will sometimes I have a friend who we do readings for each other, and we actually met through work. And I will just be talking to her and throwing cards down. And as I'm even before the words are coming out of her mouth or out of mine, there's corresponding cards that will come out, and it's like a conversation. And I'm card slinging. I'm just slinging these cards, and it's a conversation flowing, and we're talking, and I'm reading, and it's coming, and it's easy because there is no guidebook to consult. I'm just going off of my intuition and what's going on in the picture. Ceremony. It totally changed how I was reading for tarot and oracle, for sure. And now I have recently purchased the Oracle of Oddities 2nd and 3rd editions. And I have the 1st edition. en route right now. There will be another video, I'm sure, of these 3 decks together when I combine them. But yeah, just another deck. This is my most recent edition of decks that do not have guidebooks. Like, look at that voice. Sorry, keeps getting out of focus. Joy. I cannot wait to play with this deck release, but I have not really played with this deck yet because I'm waiting, and I've been waiting for the first edition to come to me, and it finally is coming. Or at least it's not the first printing of the first edition, it's the first edition of the particular set, because each edition for the Oracle of Oddities is its own standalone deck, and I want to combine them and make one massive deck. Love. And I'm going to have so much fun doing readings without a guidebook on this. Worship. So yeah, I mean, you just play with them, right? When I was younger, I used to collect postcards when we would go across country from California to Mississippi to visit family. Most of my parents' family is in Mississippi, so we used to go visit often in the summers when I was young. And we would drive cross country, and I would collect all these postcards, and I would use the postcards as like an oracle. I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time, but I would get lost in the pictures or the messages because sometimes with postcards, they have like a little description of what's going on in the image. I would read that, and I would look at the images and get lost. And sometimes, I don't know, I guess divine with it a little. And then I divined with Uno cards and also with playing cards. And I realized all of that was preparing me back then for my love of Oracle and my love of Tarot. And when I actually got to Tarot by way of Oracle. I didn't get to Tarot and then went to Oracle. My path was different. And it wasn't until I started really trusting my intuition with Oracle and releasing the systems that sometimes bind the decks is when I was able to read intuitively with the Tarot. I don't know why. It just clicked. It just made sense. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are my little thoughts on decks without guidebooks. I encourage you, if you don't have a deck without a guidebook, to consider getting yourself one and playing with it. Even if you don't read with it, just kind of looking at it and getting the intuitive hits. Like again, it was just like, wow, secrets. Taking a look at each card and seeing what it evokes inside of you and learning that way. It just kind of opens and blossoms you up even further than you thought you could. And it's probably the quickest way to getting comfortable with using your intuition with decks. So let me know your thoughts on using intuition, not using your guidebooks as much. How do you feel? Do you always use your guidebooks? Do you never use your guidebooks? How do you deepen your intuition when you're doing reading? Do you even rely on your intuition? Do you just solely read with the books? There's no right or wrong answer, of course. Some people are very scholarly about their readings. Some people are very intuitive, and some people are in between. I just want to have a discussion with you guys. I enjoy discussing these topics with you. So let me know in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, subscribers. Many blessings to all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.